Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus and this is Romesh Shivastu. Please do subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders and business heads. Today we are going to dive deep career break. What are the evolving trend of career break in India right now? Joining us, Mr. Shourya K. Chakravarty, Chief Human Resource Officer with Aptech, and Ms. Sulbha Kaushal, the Chief People Officer at RenewBuy. Should if I start with you? Generally we see the career break, sometime as a stigma, and sometime also it is not appreciated basically in India. How do you see what are the evolving trend of career break in India right now?
Ramesh, first of all, thank you so much for having me back on your talk series. It's always a pleasure to be on SightsIn Plus. And coming to the topic, career breaks, there was a time when it was seen as a stigma. I don't think it is seen as a stigma anymore. And here, when I'm talking about career breaks, I'm speaking about it gender agnostic. Uh, Usually, when we talk of career breaks, we refer mostly to women, but that's not the case anymore. Even men take career breaks for various reasons. No, it is not a stigma anymore because people have their own reasons. For example, uh, women may take a career break for childbirth or parenting. Men may also take a career break if they have to take care of their aged parents. That is an evolving trend which I have seen, and I know many people who have consciously taken a career break and have resumed thereafter. Some people have also taken a career break first to rejuvenate themselves or revitalize themselves, and then subsequently started their own ventures. So career breaks, I don't think, are seen as a stigma. And you know the world is becoming one. uh, the Indian context is more or less similar to the global context now, especially in terms of work ethics and work ethos. And I would like to believe that Indians have one of the best work ethoses in the world when we when we consider the way we work. While in the recent past, there have been a lot of discussions around that. But overall, uh, career breaks are more acceptable. Even employers today, they view it as a positive. They do not see it as a negative that, somebody has taken a career break. So essentially, there would have been something wrong with the person. No. If the reason is genuine, and it's okay. Sometimes there are forced career breaks. People may have lost a job. They may not have been able to find another job in a certain period of time, or by the time their last working day at the previous organization ended. So there are various reasons for uh, career breaks. And with social media, I think the level of transparency has increased. And you can't really hide anything even if you want to. Everything is out there in the open.
I agree with you. The acceptance has increased. The companies are more open now, and if you look for the women career break, I think many companies they're also starting the program for the relaunch your career, restart your career, like this kind of the programs, and they have a good module. They are providing also the upskilling. Some there is also upskilling practices they will give you. That format is also there. A lot of things are there. That is there. But when we look at another kind of career break, maybe that is entrepreneurial kind of career break. Maybe that is health related. Sometime the career break. Maybe you are looking for the some education for the career change. This kind of some legal issues that maybe this is also sometimes very easy. This is not easy to justify. So that's why I think the companies are not very much open about these career breaks. How do you see what is your opinion about this?
See, Ramesh, I think the overall outlook of companies towards career break is broad based now. It's open. So, whatever are the issues, if people are transparent both ways, the employee and the employer, the prospective employee and the prospective employer, if both of them are transparent, I don't really see any issues there. People have become more accommodative, people have become more understanding, and of course, at the end of the day, let me put it very bluntly, if the candidate is a near right fit, there is no right fit for a job, is if the candidate is a near right fit, why will I not hire the candidate? And of course, there are the background verification agencies to do the checks. So I don't see any, negative in that sort of the term.
Yeah, absolutely. Sulbha, as we are talking about the career breaks, maybe in a background verification, so there are also discrepancies generally we see, and most of the discrepancies are related to the career breaks. People are hiding, they are hiding because, they are not sure the company is going to consider this or not. And there are so many reasons that may be. Maybe sometimes they are writing also the name of companies, maybe family or that company belongs to their relative. So somehow they're trying to manipulate, manage how they can manage the career break. How do you see? What is your take on this? How do you see what is the evolving trend of career break in India?
So, Ramesh, I think it varies depending upon the professional life cycle you are at, and also the industry and the level. My experience of what you just mentioned of giving incorrect information, hiding the breaks, etc. I have seen this happening a lot at a very junior level, and typically at a FLS level, who are field line sales people, because um, there is a lot of churn in this particular level and a segment. And sometimes people do tend to sometimes either camouflage it or try to overlap it, or sometimes don't really show their breaks, and I've seen that happen. um, as HR, sometimes we do probe a lot and we get to know. Sometimes we find out through the background verification that happens. So there have been I can give you my a real time example of my organization. There was a person who did inform the reporting manager that there has been a break, and I have not worked for a period of time, but I have not mentioned it specifically in my resume. However, when the background verification happened and we found it otherwise, so while the manager was taking a stance, no, no, he did inform me, and you should allow. And I said, while I appreciate that the person did speak to you, but not giving a correct information to the organization is something not appreciated. And hence the required action needs to be taken, because it's something that integrity is important to us. We don't mind people taking breaks. We do understand in times of uncertainty there are possibilities that layoffs may happen, and not necessarily not so good performers are getting laid off. Sometimes decent performers also do get laid off, so we do understand all of that. But hiding or not sharing the information is not something which is appreciated. And like even my co-panelist Shourya was saying, that these days we are really open about career breaks, and we do understand if there is a genuineness in the case, if the facts are shared, the organization don't hesitate. And in the recent times, and specifically post COVID, lots of people have gone through this turmoil, unfortunately, voluntarily or involuntarily. So even the organizations have an appreciation of this fact, and I think we all are very considerate about such things. So if something happens due to economic reasons of an organization or a sector, we totally get it. And as long as I like the word near fit, we really don't mind, getting those people onboarded.
Right, right. Yeah, you rightly said post-COVID, I think the acceptance of this career break is increased with across the companies.
True.
Still, Surya, do you think there are certain, impact of career break on professional growth?
I was saying I have seen sometimes, Ramesh, because at the end of the day, it's a competitive world, right? Somebody who's in a continuous employment, obviously with the kind of experiences, they do move up the value chain. And if the career break is significant, people do tend to miss out on the latest experience, latest exposure, and it can lead to them not starting at the same pedestal. And there is a possibility of, someone maybe starting at a lower rank. Where it doesn't impact is at a very senior levels, when you've been there, done that, taken a conscious sabbatical, and then again you want to restart. I think there it doesn't matter because you have actually achieved a level of experience, you have a certain level of competence, and then people value that, yes, you did something, you achieved something, and then consciously you took a break, and then again you are re-entering. I think at a very senior level, that doesn't really matter, but at a junior level, I think such breaks tend to put you at a little backstep there.
Yeah, sorry. Any of your comment on this? Sorry.
So, Ramesh, I resonate with what Sulbha said. Uh, at the senior levels, it really doesn't matter, and you tend to find jobs faster. Maybe the time may be a little bit more, but one thing we need to understand that the career breaks usually don't happen at the senior level. They happen at the junior to mid levels. Either forced or otherwise, people do go through some sort of a stress, trauma, or uh, you know emotional upheaval sort of things. It does happen. It is the job of the companies, I would say, to counsel the people resuming after a career break. Yes, there will be a gap in terms of the level, as Sulbha said. And let me put it, companies are for-profit organizations. They have objectives to achieve. But having said that, the role of counseling becomes very important here. Or talking to the person, making the person understand that what is it. While the person may believe that they are absolutely competent and capable, nobody is denying that. But there are other macro and micro factors within the organizational setup which also need to be taken into consideration before a person is hired after a career break. And equally, the employees have to be sensitized. There's a see. Let's understand that in today's world, everybody has become oversensitive to everything. I fail to understand the reason. Suddenly, you have resilience all over. Resilience was a given for us in India. I mean, it was normal, but now it is a buzzword. But having said that, it is important that employees are also sensitized when somebody is joining after a career break. So there are multiple factors involved here to complete the square.
Right.
And I would just like to
Right.
add one point, if I may, Ramesh. I think until and unless you're consciously also working on upskilling yourself during your break, either learning a skill or being occupied through some kind of project or part-time kind of work, it is very difficult otherwise, because to be at a same competing level, it may reflect in a differentiated head start. But if someone has been consciously working, knowing while there is a break due to whatever personal professional reasons, but somebody has been investing in themselves and upskilling themselves, then that case may be different. But I have seen very far and few such cases, to be very honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sulbha, there is also a study by the LinkedIn, and according to this study, around 38% women take the career break, and it is higher than men, of course, that is 9%. How can organizations support women for the rejoining the workforce?
To be very frank, there is a definite need of diversity in the organizations, and a lot of organizations are very cognizant of this fact. And it's not just a buzzword to bring the DNI or anything, but it is just the sheer um, different viewpoints coming together, because there are always multiple ways of solving a problem. There are always multiple solutions to a given problem. So I think that's where diversity really creates a magic in any team. What organizations can do, and what specifically I can talk about my organization, some of the things that we have been trying to do, and there's a conscious effort. I'll say it's a work in progress for us to really see the outcomes. However, there is a conscious effort that we do, have inclusion of candidates, women. In fact, we also launched a specific campaign in the past where we wanted people, specifically women, to come and join us post break, and more so in the tech teams, because there we saw that there is a talent which did, kind of dropped out of employment, and there was, like I said, in the recent past, because of the COVID, etc., and we really wanted to attract that talent. So there was a concentrated campaign and effort to attract that kind of a talent. And so having a very focused approach towards being open and inviting those candidates. Second is consciously building more pool of candidates, because ultimately it's the uh, right candidate and the right potential that actually, gets the employment. But we definitely want to evaluate people across the level, and want to have more diversity in the pool. So we ensure that, so my recruiters are specifically told to ensure that there is definitely the right mix of candidates. And like my co-panelist Shourya also mentioned, that other employees also need to be sensitized. I think whenever there is a candidate or a employee joining us from a break, I think it's important that the person gets the right warm welcome, support, and the buddy system happens, so that the person is able to perform at its full potential and deliver to the requirement of the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. We all are agreed that companies are open now for the career breaks. But the fact is, still, it is not normalized. People are hesitant to write the career break on the CV. Recently, studies also by the LinkedIn, and they created another category for the career break, and there are 13 subcategories into this. And these subcategories are like maybe for the health, maybe for care giving, and maybe so many 13 categories are there for this. But still, how many people are using this? I think very few. So this is not normalized. How we can create a kind of culture, how we can build a kind of culture in organization where the career breaks are considered normal, and that is for both men and women.
Ramesh, cultural shifts or cultural modifications, whatever, they have to be driven by the top. And when I say top, it's the CEO. The CEO needs to be convinced. I, as a CHRO, or somebody else as a CXO, may be convinced that, yes, I'm open to hiring people who've had career breaks. If the organization and the very top doesn't support it, the case falls flat. So, as Sulbha said, this leadership team has to be in unison there. They have to speak in one voice. Second, in terms of sensitizing, it is the recruiters who also have to be sensitized first. Because when they shortlist a CV, the moment they'll probably take 2 to 3 minutes to shortlist a CV. When they see there is a career gap, reject. That needs to stop. A lot of good CVs are sifted aside because of this reason. So yes, I think we need more education within the organization there to our people to understand what is it and see no cultural change. And you rightly said, LinkedIn, many people are still not revealing it. Any cultural change happens slowly. And see, Indian society, while I said earlier, is at par with global society, in many cases, we don't want to come out everything in the open. So certain things we best keep to ourselves. Now, having said that, changes are happening. It'll happen, maybe a little slowly.
And Sulbha, what is your take on this on culture part?
Just picking up from what Shaurya was trying to say, yes, tone from the top definitely makes a lot of a difference. And leaders have to be more accepting of the fact that, breaks can happen and people have to return, want to come back. And the way it has to first start right at the stage of the interview. If you're making the candidate comfortable about openly discussing and not picking it up as, oh, why did you take a break, so don't you think you lost out, instead of such questions. Okay, so how did you utilize your time? I understand it must have been difficult, whatever. How do you now think of contributing? So making it more positive in terms of how the person plans to deliver now, or how the person wants to now come back to the career, and how excited the person is. So I think the moment at an interview level, when you are able to give that comfort to the candidate that we're absolutely open, we value you for your experience and the knowledge that you bring on the table, and doesn't make a big thing about the career break. I think it starts from there. And once you're leading by the example, be the HR or the leaders, I think that's how you're setting the tone, and you're setting the stage of ensuring that you're treating people equally, you're giving equal opportunity to people, and creating a level field for everyone.
And another important thing is what would be your advice to the candidates, those who are having the career back, how they can return back to the workforce?
First is when you are applying for any job, be absolutely honest, open, and transparent. Don't hide anything. Number one. Number two, if you have taken a career break for whatever reason it is, mention the reason also. If you have been able to upskill yourself in certain area, or you have taken a career break to switch between functions or specializations, that's also okay. Recently, I was interviewing a candidate who worked for 7 years, then took a career break of 18 months to complete a full-time executive MBA from one of the premier institutes. And he was very open about it, that yes, I have done it. And this is my ask. And he was very confident. We said, okay, fine, you fit the bill. So let's take your candidature forward. So career breaks happen. They will continue to happen. Be honest about it. Be open about it. Upskill yourself if your situation permits. And as Sulbha said earlier, if the situation permits, for example, if somebody takes a career break for parenting, you really can't upskill yourself there. But having said that, parenting teaches you a lot of things. If you have taken a career break for taking care of your aged parents, parental care, senior citizen care, that is equally important. And there also, you may not be able to upskill yourself depending on the situation you are in. So these are things where both organizations and candidates have to be absolutely open, transparent, clear.
And Sulbha, what would be your advice?
Yes, I think being honest definitely helps, because it gives us the give give us the information of the true reason. And secondly, what I definitely want, or the advice would be, whatever be the reason of a career break, if people can really articulate how this break has helped them personally, or how it has helped them evolve in a certain manner. So even as much as, like Shaurya was mentioning, either taking care of old parents, or being a new parent themselves, taking care of children, anything, or whatever is personal or a professional reason, how they have been able to transform themselves, or what skills they have been able to develop. Even for example, resilience, being patient, being extremely caring. All these things are behavioral in nature, but are very important at work also. So if they can articulate that, that's important for the organization, that while not being active at workplace, but they were still doing something and were building themselves personally, is great. And also they need to show excitement of coming back to work. So that's again, and how, and they should, whenever they are applying, they should think through how they will add value to the organization, because it's not just about giving an interview, I did this, I did that. They should feel excited, they should do their own research, and then they should come prepared with how they think they will add value, how is their candidature most appropriate, and how organization will benefit with their presence. So I think if people are able to articulate that, that's only going to help, or be more advantageous for them.
Right, absolutely. So career breaks are no more stigma. Be honest, put it on your CV, and if you can specify that what was the reason of career break, you need to specify there. So thank you, Shourya and Sulbha, for joining the conversation and sharing your wonderful thoughts. Thank you so much.